Good afternoon. Thank you to everyone. I continue the fantastic presentation by Panos with the clinical and cost efficacy analysis. So today we have a very evidence-based approach when we perform an AV fistula or a graft, when we decide to start an hemodialysis with a CVC, but we don't have an idea or a plan for the maintenance of our vascular access, and this is mandatory because without a correct follow-up, a correct maintenance, all type of vascular access thrombosed, and the failure is the end of the history. So today, probably in the virtuous circle of the treatment and performing the vascular access, we need a plan for the maintenance of the vascular access. And our goal is to maintain the patients with a good access for a good hemodialysis longer time possible. The question of my presentation are two: clinical benefit from the use of DCB, and what about the cost benefit? Today, the DCB and Panos underline perfectly this problem. Are an attractive treatment with positive evidence, with some doubts, but the evidence of the doubts is very limited. So in Varese, I'm a vascular surgeon and I work in Varese. During the COVID pandemic, we perform a comparison, and for first time we have the evidence about the role of our closed follow-up and very aggressive maintenance with a DCB strategy for the treatment of new intimal hyperplasia in our vascular access. So if you see the orange line is the line about 2020 compared to 2019. The clinical evaluation, the angiographic procedure stopped at in Italy at the start of March, and naturally in our hospital, the number of thrombosis of the access and the number of central vein increase very rapidly after this type of stop. When a patient don't have the vascular access, naturally for first of all, the need continuous hemodialysis, the CVC and the line is probably the first emergent approach. This produces an incredible increase in the cost of maintenance, and this other evidence is underlined in this terrible period of time. So after the 2020, our idea about the maintenance and the closed follow-up is very strong. And on the right of your screen, we see our flow chart for the follow-up and maintenance. The maintenance is based on the phlebography after a duplex ultrasound diagnosis. All the patients performing in a range of time from 1 month in very complex access to 6 months in the native without problem. So today we are in we perform a review of our practice with Aperto, and after 600 balloon and treatment of patients, we have some different evidence about this type of treatment with this balloon, and I share with you. The period of time of this study ranged from 2015 to 2023, a very close follow-up with a good follow-up index 0.86. The demographic data are very similar to all type of patients in hemodialysis in Europe. I underline 34% of diabetes. In our cohort of patients treated, 64% of this type of stenosis are de novo stenosis. 202 balloon for treatment of native fistula, 293 for graft, and 105 for central vein stenosis. So in this retrospective analysis, we include all type of lesion. Surprisingly, 0.5% of patients underwent yearly only one treatment, 30% two treatment, and only the 8% of patients 3 or more retreatment for years. So if I compare with my previous experience with the treatment of standard high pressure balloon, the period of time free from restenosis with DCB is very longer. So our faster we see the result of Aperto 600 in the native, the freedom from target lesion restenosis very well, more than 74%, 59% for graft. The stenosis in a graft have a more recoil compared a native stenosis, and 49% for central vein stenosis. Very important, the circuit patency, because this is our goal, maintain the patency with a good functionality for hemodialysis. So remember a publicity of an ice cream in Italy, 2 is better than 1. We classify also the mean time for a new procedure after a DCB procedure, and surprisingly, the mean time for all the patients treated with Aperto DCB, the time for a new procedure is around, naturally, mean 233 days. And in the patients with the treatment of 2 or more stenosis, naturally, with 2 or more balloon, each DCB for only one stenosis, the period of time is more longer, 343 days of free from stenosis. I don't know the reason for this difference from 1 or 2, but probably when I treat all type of stenosis, the circuit patency is longer, and the number of thrombosis is reduced. Today we have a very good evidence, and I agree completely with Panos. Some different papers speaking about this is a randomized control trial with Aperto. My previous experience in 200 patients with Aperto, and this type of paper underline the strength of the DCB in the treatment of the new intimal hyperplasia stenosis. But the cost benefit, today we have another goal in our indication, choose the device with a positive cost benefit. With an economic university of Milan, we analyze our methods and our follow-up and type of maintenance. We analyze all type of costs, direct and indirectly, so the human resource, equipment, the treatment, the hospital bed, and more other costs. We perform two types of scenario. The first scenario, only the treatment of patients only with a PTA, and the second scenario, the PTA DCB. And naturally, starting the second scenario is not cheaper compared to first, but if we add the reintervention at the end of the analysis, at 1 year of the after the first DCB, the amount of the cost is very similar, but at 1 year, the cost effectiveness value, when I calculate the number of retreatment, the cost of all type of balloon, the scenario 2, the PTA with DCB, is more effective, is more positive, the cost efficacy compared to first scenario. So the cheaper balloon is not effective in this type of treatment for our patients, and I'm very happy to speaking about also the different on naturally in the number of beds in the hospital for treatment is less in the second scenario with the DCB. And today we have also a benefit for the organization, because the money spent for each patient is less, and also we calculate the CO2 spent for patients to come in the hospital, and naturally in the arm of DCB, more CO2 spend for coming in the hospital. So, in conclusion of my presentation, the literature underline a positive effect of the DCB in the treatment of the vascular access stenosis. The PTI DCB represent today the preferable option for reduce the number of retreatment for year. We have a significant benefit from the patients, for surgeon, and for organization, and naturally for the health system utilize the DCB. And the last, for the environmental point of view, the reduction of CO2 spend for these patients is a good possibility for increase our quality of life.